I can have your attention. If I can have your attention, we're going to go ahead and start our media availabilities here. In advance of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. We're joined now by Daytona 500 champion, driver the number 3 Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon. Before we start talking about that stuff, though, Austin, I know you've got a pretty good announcement you want to share with us.
Yeah, this weekend we're running the number 20 GoShare truck. It's a GoShare app, and best way to explain it, if you're looking for someone to help you out with delivery, pickup service, it's like Uber but for trucks and delivery, so it's very cool. And I've moved a few times. It's not a lot of fun, but you can get some help from the GoShare app. Check it out and go on your phone and grab it. It's a great app to have.
Excellent. We're going to go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start over here on the right, and then we'll go to Mike.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Austin, before the Daytona 500, you were one of 63 drivers that were one-hit wonders. You have the second win. How does it feel to, or what does it mean for you to no longer be a one-hit wonder?
It's a good feeling. It puts you in a little bit different category, and but even better is the second race is the Daytona 500. It's a championship race, so it's good, but I want to do more. I want to get more wins and keep on knocking them down. Shaq told me yesterday if I had any piece of advice on his podcast, he said, take the trophy, take your mom and your wife out to eat. He said after you get done eating, you tell your mom to take that trophy and don't look at it again and go get some more. He said go get a couple more of those things. He said that's what my dad used to do to me. He said he would take all my championship rings, all my trophies, put them in my basement, make me hungry, go get some more.
We'll stay over here to the right to Mike, and then we'll go to Chris.
Mike Embry, U.S. So you get a tattoo Sunday night. The race becomes official Monday. Did you ever have a thought that you might have to get laser removal or something like that?
I didn't feel like it either way. It wasn't going to be taken away. I mean, I felt pretty good about it, and it's yeah, that would have sucked, but it didn't happen, so it's all good.
Was that a team decision?
Yeah, most of the team. So we went over to Tijuana Flats. One of our buddies across the street there, who was with me when I got my first tattoo in Daytona, and got it. So this was the second tattoo, and there was like probably 5 on the team that already had it. And I had said after the 600, like I think 1 or 2 more got it after the 600 when we were in Vegas. So I said, all right, next win, the rest of the guys have got to get it, and most of them got it. And I decided since I was in there, I might as well get a tattoo too, and I added the 500 championship there. It's pretty cool, and something we'll always be able to remember it by. It'd be funny if the next champion does it.
We're going to go to the far back, and then we'll come up to Chris and then Jerry.
Austin Ben White with the Lexington Dispatch. Can you just talk about the fact that you've got the win, you're in the playoffs? How does that help your mindset for going into the rest of the season, because you got that over with that you are now in the playoffs?
Definitely allows you to breathe a little bit, but I already had some motivation this week, I think, on Race Hub, and Brad and Chad saying that we weren't going to win again. So that was good to hear. That was something to get me fired up a little bit more, and our team get those competitive juices flowing again. So we'll just keep rocking it however we can. And we still have a lot to work on. We want to make this Camaro ZL1 good at all tracks, and we're looking forward to that. Been excited about it. So it's a great start to the season. It definitely gets the momentum going, and we just need to keep pounding.
We're going to come up here to the front to Chris Knight, and then we'll go to Jerry.
Yeah, Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Can you talk a little bit about running back to trucks? Why this weekend? And what have you seen out of Young's Motorsports that you feel like that you guys can be competitive and have a shot to win?
Well, Tyler's done a lot in the truck series, and he's been working really hard, and kind of met him through mutual friends and seen what kind of effort he was putting into the truck series. And we used him last year for a couple races and with Austin Dillon Motorsports. And so we had the opportunity to run Atlanta with GoShare, and figured Tyler was the guy to do it with. And I'm looking forward to working with this whole group of guys he's got over there, and it seems like they got some good stuff. And today will be the first time I get in the truck. Just want to go out there. I had fun running this race last year, so it's one of those places. Anytime you can get a chance to run in Atlanta with the old pavement the way it is, sliding around out there, I like the chances. It's fun. Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. Tanner's a heck of a wheelman. A lot of this credit goes to Austin Craven with Austin Dillon Motorsports, and he had the vision to, we just want to keep giving back to the sport in any way we can. And Tanner is one of those guys that's got that sprint car background like Larson and Christopher Bell, and performed well at the Chili Bowl. And so we're going to be in a couple truck races this year, I think, so it'll be pretty cool.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Austin, you have a Truck Series Championship, an Xfinity Series Championship, and I know it's only one race in, but have you thought about I think you're the only driver active right now that can win all three in across the series. Have you thought about that at all?
I definitely have thought about that, and that's my goal, is to be the first to win all three. I feel like that would be a heck of an accomplishment, and I've thought about it a lot this week. After you win a huge race like that, what's next? And in my eyes, like that's the next goal. So that's what we need to go to work on hard this year, because we've already got a great opportunity with the way the playoffs work, is being locked in, or put in the playoffs.
Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Austin, were you any nervous at all in any of these situations you're in this week with all these TV shows? I know you kind of like being in front of the camera and stuff like that, but does that make you uncomfortable?
I did get nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. Which ones?
It is, the more you do the media stuff, the more comfortable you get. As my career's gone on, I've gotten way more comfortable and love it. But the Kelly and Ryan deal, I got nervous. I was like, man, I just, I had a text from Dale Jr. The night after. He congratulated me. He said, man, go represent our sport well this week. So there's still a little bit of you got to keep it together and do good. And the Fox one I was comfortable with, the first one, because it was about sports, and then the second one was like Kelly and Ryan, so it's just this broad audience that you don't know what to expect. They're going to ask you and stuff. So I was in the green room before, and I wasn't like talking to anybody. I'm usually pretty talkative, and I'm just like sitting there, and my wife comes in because she missed the first interview. She was going to come to the second one, and she comes in and she's talking, and she's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm just like, I'm chilling. I'm tired. And anytime I get nervous, I cope with it with like sleeping. So if you like watched her story, like I actually was asleep in one of them. Like she caught me like half asleep. So I don't know. I just go to sleep when I get nervous, and they come in there and they're like, all right, you're up. And I'm like, okay. I walk around the corner, like you look in the mirror before you go around the corner, and you're going to they're like, we want you live and energy when you walk in there, because people are going to be clapping. So I get through that, and it's like an awkward stage, because you're like smiling at all these extras that you don't have a clue who they are, but they're excited because that's what they're supposed to be. And you're running down the aisle smiling, and then you get there, and I never got to meet Ryan or Kelly before the TV. Like that live was like the first time I've met them. So I just I sit down, and I'm like, yeah, congratulations, yeah, thank you. And first thing, to get comfortable, I just started talking about my wife. It was the first thing I went to talking about. And then I couldn't find her, and my voice started shaking a little bit. And then I found her, and I was like, okay. And I sat down in my chair, and then it was all good. I relaxed, and they were great. Kelly and Ryan both. The interview was easy after that, and just kind of was trying to be authentic and talk about the whole experience. But that was the most nervous for sure. That's a good question, because you get to a certain point, you get comfortable in a lot of things, but when you get nervous again, it's cool.
We'll stay here to the left to Kelly Crandall.
KellyCrandallRacer.com. Austin, you're going to buy, it came out this week, you're going to buy everybody at RCR Daytona 500 championship rings. How many employees are there, and how much cash do you think you're going to be chunking up for that one?
It's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's worth it. I'm a believer in you give, you get back, and I've been given a lot, and it's just the blessing keeps on returning itself. So it's a big morale booster for all those guys. And I think, what did you say, Craven? 425 employees. So it'll be pretty big check. I'll have to dish out at Jostens if you're listening. We need to do some kind of social media deal or something, man. So gotta get a good deal on those rings.
We'll go to the middle to Bob, and then we'll come over to Caleb.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. You once told me that when you win, you're going to talk a lot of crap. So I'm curious, how much have you talked, and have you ever thought, like, maybe I should tone things down or not?
No, I mean, I feel pretty good about the way I've handled it all week, and I've had fun. And our next episode after the win of Barn Life comes out here pretty soon. It hadn't come out yet. I've been staying on Justin to make sure it's a really good one. We filmed it, and it was like an hour and a half of just like a lot of fun and BSing with my buddies, and it's pretty cool. So you'll have to check that out. That was good. And so yesterday in my group text with my buddies, they watched Race Hub, and that Chad Canals and Brad Kozlowski thing kind of came on, and it was like, all right, it's time to keep knocking them down. I guess they don't believe it yet. So we got to step up though at RCR. We still got a lot to prove. You know, this is a speedway race, even though it's the biggest race in our deal. It's a speedway race, and we got a lot more to prove. Andy Petrie and all the guys at RCR are working hard, and I think this coming down to a two-car team move is big for us, and we got to take advantage of that. I am not gonna lie, I'm tired right now, but we're gonna kick butt this weekend and then get back regrouped and get in the groove and try and gain as many bonus points as we can, similar to how we want to be like the 78 did last year. They did a great job of putting themselves in a position to qualify themselves deep into the playoffs before they even started. So any way we can do that, get bonus points and work hard, it's going to be key.
We'll go here to the left to Caleb.
Caleb Whistler, kicking the tires.net. After the Daytona 500, you were trying to find the kid who gave you the lucky penny.
Yeah.
Obviously, you found it. How did you find him, and what did it mean for you to have him at the shop this week?
So I think his grandmother actually called the track to get the picture of us in the autograph line, and I'm not sure if an employee at Daytona, like, so who are you, or the camera guy knew or something, and they contacted Jackie, and then while we were in New York, I got to talk to him on the phone. I was like, hey, man, this is awesome. Anything I could ever do for you. So Jackie kind of continued the conversation with the family, and I didn't know that she was continuing that conversation. And Fox and RCR came together, flew them up to RCR, and I did an interview the next morning when we got home, and I was just thinking it was a regular interview. I sit down, I start the whole interview, and he comes up beside me and says, "You're welcome." And I'm like, that's cool, man. I knew no clue he was going to be there. It was a total surprise. So they did a really good job on surprising me on that. And it was really special. That was probably one of the most special things of the whole week, taking him through the shop, putting him in a race car. And he was so gracious and, like, thankful for that moment. And it made me just realize, you know, how blessed I am, because we gave him a basket at the end with, like, a T-shirt and a die cast, and all the team signed it. And this is an 11-year-old kid, you know. I mean, some 11-year-old kids that I've seen, they just don't act like he did. It was real quiet and, like, taken back by the whole thing instead of just, like, having fun. It was like he was really just thankful. And when we give him the basket, it was just me, my dad, and Jackie and his grandmother in a room, and we gave him the basket, and he started, like, tearing up on me. And I'm like, gosh, man, like, holy cow, like, it's just a T-shirt to me, but to him it was something else. So that was the most emotional part of the whole weekend. And after that, I told him, I said, look, buddy, if you need anything, like anything at all, you call me. Like, if you want to go into racing something, if you need anything, just let me know. And and he was really cool, and we took him to Race Hub, and they did such a good job showing him everything, the ins and outs of it. And it was cool just to see how thankful he was to be a part of that. And I take it for granted too much, and he made me, like, come back to reality and just see how cool it was for him.
We'll go right here to the middle.
Charles Odom with AP here in Atlanta. You talked about sliding around on the old track. They've been talking about resurfacing for several years here, and we hear drivers come in every year and lobby for keeping the track. Why do you guys love it so much, and when will you guys say it's time to resurface?
Well, last year I was really excited that they, after the race, we were flying home, they made the decision not to repave, because I was running like third here, and we had an alternator failure. It's one of our best races we had all last year. It was the first mile and a half, and Newman and I both had the same problem running in the top 5 or 6. So I just wanted another shot at this place because I felt like it was a good track for us, and we'll probably have a similar setup that we had last year here, and just with the new Camaro ZL1, it should be a good race for us. So, yeah, and you go back to your roots when you get these old pavement tracks where it's taking care of the tires are really key, and long runs are very key. So we're every other week during the year, we're trying to take off and go fast. And this one, if you take off, it really hurts you in the end on the long run.
Any additional questions for Austin? Austin, thanks. Oh, hang on. We got Lee right here in the middle.
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com. There's a lot of talk about people saying that, okay, the real racing starts this week.
Yeah.
And, you know, they look at the top 10, whatever, and say, okay, here's what they usually do at Atlanta. How do you get around those perceptions and just, you know, go out and kind of lay it out and show that, you know, it's not, you know, I think someone said earlier one track pony, but, you know, how do you prepare for that?
Just go out and prove them wrong, you know, stay focused, do my job, and work hard, go to work. You know, we got a lot of races. The one thing they don't have right now that we have is a win. So we're on top right now, and no matter what, they can't take that away, and we're going to keep working. And you know, I don't expect us to lay down at all. I feel like now more than ever we need to go in and head on and just go after it. So be focused and get back in the swing of things, but we'll be ready. Thanks.
We'll finish up in the back with Christian.
Christian Coley, FrenchStretch.com. Austin, over the offseason, Chevrolet transitioned over to the Camaro. This will be the first weekend we'll get a feel on, you know, an actual racetrack that is not a super speedway and aerodynamic dependent. How do you feel the Chevrolet will handle this weekend?
Well, I actually got to hang out a little bit at the shop this week with the Fab shop, and they had told me they had like cut off 36 bodies, and like they were on like body number 37 or 38 for the Camaro ZL1 for our team and all of our affiliates. So they've been putting a lot of work into those cars in the ZL1. So I feel like it's 1 for 1 right now. So why didn't go 2 for 2 this weekend? You know, Chevy did their job, and I think all of our teams with Chevy did. So it's a great car, and I'm a personal huge fan of the Camaro, and hope I can get one of those ZL1s here pretty soon.
Austin, thanks for joining us this morning. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.